Himawari possesses the chakra of the tailed beast. Attack on Konoha by the divine tree. Why is Kawaki weak? And where does the tree element come from? Enjoy watching. Chapter 8 of Boruto Two Blue Vortex has been released. We were shown many interesting moments, but let's start with Hidari and Juro. In the previous chapter, these two planned to attack Naruto Uzumaki. To do this, they send their taxi, in the form of part of the Ten-Tails, to the gates of Konoha. The cube in their hideout consists entirely of scratch techniques, allowing them to pass through it and emerge from their business taxi right next to the village. Their pompous entrance into Konoha can only be described as even Pain didn't allow himself such a thing. Even Ishiki never passed through the main gate. Attacks on Konoha usually came from the air. However, these two came as if no one could ever stop them. Even the fact that they came to the strongest shinobi village, which has Otsutsuki, is just entertainment for them. But security is working, sensors detect the intrusion, recognize the chakra, and identify only Sasuke Uchiha. In other words, the evolved Ten-Tails, having received Sasuke's genes, is identical to him. But we are never told whether he has memories of the original. But that's not important. Statists, in the form of elite gate guards, demand that they stop and explain why they are so impudent, otherwise they will pelt them with stones. But Juro isn't interested in talking to lower beings, so he decides to show what Hashirama could look like if he were angered and came to someone's village. He demonstrates wood style, minus the gate guards. One might be surprised why the Ten-Tails uses the wood element, but, in principle, it is the tree itself, so such a technique is logical. But I have some interesting questions. Why did Hashirama possess this power? And when will we be explained where the first got the ability of the divine tree? Who was Sanju really? While Hidari and Juro's stroll continues, Ida watches as our handsome main character shows his brutality, saying that he is the son and no one else. These words make the girl blush. Oh, this female heart at the sight of brutal guys. It's like I love Kawaki, but Boruto is so cool and doesn't behave like a jerk, although the jerk is also cool. So far, Ida can't decide who she likes more. Behind appears the jerk himself and asks to find Boruto, and the girl wants to watch the beautiful scene between the sun and the moon, but still gives the right direction. Delta, at Ida's request, becomes a nanny for the cute jerk and goes with him to find Boruto. Uzumaki himself explains to Shikamaru that the Ten-Tails has evolved and gained consciousness, and all the bitten shinobi are food for the consciousness of the Jubi. Meanwhile, Juro and Sasuke stroll through Konoha as if on a tour, and Uchiha's clone asks if Naruto Uzumaki is here, but Juro is more interested in the bookstore, where he wants to find something interesting. It's curious what genre RPG will like. Maybe he and Ida have a lot in common and he'll like romance? But jokes aside, while Kawaki, along with Delta, flies off to deal with Boruto, the girl hints to him that when Ida stops liking him, she will gladly tear off several limbs from him until it's fatal. And our jerk shows that he's not like that at all, saying that when he's done with everything, she can do it without any problems. But she won't even have to lift a finger because by that time he will no longer exist. Another trait of Kawaki that Ida likes, a handsome guy who suffers. But these sufferings reveal the character himself. He perfectly realizes everything he does, all his sin, which he took upon himself. The only thing he wants in this world is to protect the one who acknowledged him and then die. A very deep trauma on Kawaki's heart, preventing him from seeing things correctly. But thanks to Shikamaru, specifically because Kawaki contacted the 8th, Boruto learns about his brother's approach. So he uses the shadow clone technique and leaves. But he does it very untimely. Meanwhile, Mitsuki appears next to Ida and explains to her what love is, making her think about whether she really loves Kawaki. After all, thanks to Boruto's words, Orochimaru's son decided to find himself, not just bask in the rays of the sun. It seems that Boruto's therapy works just as well as his father's, and even Ida herself wanted just to chat with him. While Juro is looking for books, Kawaki bursts in and attacks Hidari using his spikes. However, Sasuke's clone easily dodges, albeit receiving a slight push from the mighty Otsutsuki. The Leaf's defender has returned upon hearing about the attack, accompanied by Delta, but such behavior annoys our book lover. Exiting the store, he mentions that the guy needs to be more careful using his power near such a place. After all, his actions could destroy a real treasure trove. Hidari is completely obsessed with books. Before him is an Otsutsuki, consuming whom he can become a divine tree and destroy the entire planet. However, judging by his words, he's concerned about slightly different things. He's not particularly eager to destroy this world. He's more interested in understanding it. Once again, we're shown the element of the tree. But Kawaki shrinks, appearing behind Juro, already with his first type of karma activated. Using his robotic prosthetic, he tries tries to attack the Biju, but the latter effortlessly breaks this parody of true power and slaps him, telling him to sit tight for now. Once again, showing that he doesn't care about the initial goal, devouring members of Ishiki's clan. And here we go again, the poor water barrel suffers. Yet again, whether it's Naruto and Sasuke or Pain, probably, these poor barrels suffered the most in this anime. However, we know that it will give Kawaki the impetus to become stronger. But jokes aside, Kawaki jumps into a reference to Naruto and Sasuke's battle and cuts off. Meanwhile, Juro notices Naruto Uzumaki. How? From where? Why? I can practically hear your questions. But he definitely feels him and says that he's nearby. Hidari asks if he's sure, to which Juro replies that Naruto is the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. And since Juro himself embodies the same beast, he can sense the Biju's chakra in him. So, Juro has just given us two references. The first is the one where he embodies the same beast, meaning he is, in fact, a Jinchuriki. And he tells Hidari that Sasuke's clone is not a Jinchuriki, he's just a duplicate of Sasuke. This is confirmed by his chakra when he entered Konoha. Why? Because Hidari doesn't sense Naruto's chakra, the Nine Tails chakra, which Juro clearly feels. This may indicate that his appearance, unlike any of the bitten ones, is like this because he is Jinchuriki himself. As for Hidari, he's just an embodiment of Sasuke's chakra, but this is just a guess. But the second hint is much more interesting, and that's the fact that Juro senses the Nine Tails chakra, and when they reach the source, they encounter Himawari. Hidari once again demonstrates that he feels no power, asking who it is, and Juro is surprised that he feels something. He doesn't know why there's power of the tail beast emanating from Himawari, and this is already a hint at the title of the second part of the manga, Boruto Two Blue Vortex. We have a blue-eyed main character and his younger sister, so the authors will reveal not only Boruto but also Himawari. I remind you that we've been told twice already that she has some terrible power. Damon was frightened by it the first time, sensing a terrible power in her, and the second time is now, with Juro. Remember, Naruto's daughter demonstrated very interesting abilities. She could jump so high when saving Shukaku that no shinobi could repeat the same. Perhaps it's a hint at the power of the Otsutsuki that she's capable of flying. But the most important thing is the massive hint at the chakra of the tail beast, and I've already talked about it. She has gathered the most interesting genes. Essentially, the power of Himura and Hagoromo should have merged in her, as Hinata starts her lineage from the Otsutsuki from the moon, and Naruto is the reincarnation of Kaguya's grandson. Perhaps, Himawari embodies the power that once awakened in Hashirama. If you haven't forgotten, he could even suppress tail beasts. Mukuten, which the divine tree is currently demonstrating, also had huge reserves of chakra, so the first can be called a monster. Hima is now something akin to something unique with the chakra of the tail beast inside her. But how could she have obtained it? Everything is simple here. Essentially, when Naruto released the seal, his power merged with Kurama's. They became one entity, so it's not surprising that she could have beast's chakra. I even made an animation about it 2 years ago. The link is in the description below the video. As for me, the most interesting chapter will be the next one. What will Hima show us? Will it turn out the same as with Damon, where the Ten-Tails claimed it was mistaken? Will Boruto return? He chose to leave the village at such an inconvenient time. And most importantly, is this the end of Konoha that we saw in the first episode? Also, it's possible that the other two tree Biju went either after Konohamaru or after Ida, Sasuke and Sarada's meeting. How will that be? Does Hidari remember Uchiha's life? Interesting chapters await us in the future. I enjoyed the manga. I have not a single complaint. Kawaki is not weak. He's emotionally suffering, which prevents him from perceiving most things normally. He relies on a power he hates. Therefore, he doesn't try to use it correctly. Besides, he has a very intrusive idea that he must suffer, and if there's a chance to inflict pain on himself, he'll take it. So, he will still show his strength. I don't think he started cosplaying Code and pretending to be a punching bag. It's just necessary to demonstrate the intensity of the situation for the plot to be interesting. Moreover, Juro is super strong, and apparently stronger even than Hidari. So, I'm looking forward to the new chapter. I liked everything. I'll be interested in your opinion on the chapter in the comments. Good luck to everyone.